What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we'll be talking about 3 different cryptos at the request of Brian D and Easy Money. We're going to be talking about KTA, Edge, and PEAQ in that order. KTA, Keeta the Cheetah, then Edge Definitive, and then we will finish off the video talking about PEAQ, P-E-A-Q. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. KTA here. I was just talking to a buddy about this chart yesterday, and the price was all the way up at 41 cents when I was talking about it. It was a nice solid wick on this weekly close, and now here we are, 1 day, 8 hours left. The new day has opened up this day, the 8th of November, and we've actually pulled back. We're down about 8% today. That's no fun. We don't like to see that. 7 hours, 38 minutes left in the day. Let's see if we can pull back up by the end of the day. It is Saturday. The weekend typically doesn't provide reliable price action or price action that really bears any strength one direction or the other. So the fact that it's Saturday, I'm not really too worried about it. I do fully expect that right here what we're in is the midst of a W pattern, right? We've got this W set up. When we break above this here, we should see prices launch all the way up to, something well above $1. I think $1.20 or more is very possible. It's a very viable option. If we look at this on the 1 hour time frame and we zoom in a little bit, looking at this here, and maybe I should pull up the Coinbase chart just for now while we've got some volume, or while we're looking at the short-term stuff, we can look at the volume. Look how there's a total lack of volume as we're dropping, right? You're moving down and there's no volume at all. There are some gaps down here. I think there's a little gap right there. I mean, it is completely possible that we go down to 33 cents, but I don't think that's what we do. Anything can happen, but I don't know if that's exactly what we do. We could. Coinbase does typically like to fill its gaps, so that's something to note, but it doesn't have to. We are moving down again. Volume is dying off. To be completely fair, actually, looking at this, the volume is, I guess, increasing as we're going lower. It's just sub-average, right? Whenever you're below these little wispy lines here, the histogram, that means you're sub-average, below average volume. So very, very low volume for this kind of a move down. I do expect that we're going to get some kind of fast reaction off of this, right? Just like we did here, we're going to get a fast reaction off this, and we're going to move higher. KTA, you guys, Keeta, you should really look into Keeta, man. There's some interesting things going on here. They're talking about doing something that everybody needs in crypto, which is that you'd be able to offload your cryptos into US dollars by using their ecosystem, right? Like imagine instead of having to go through an exchange, and then so you have to take your money from a bank, deposit it on an exchange, and then you transact crypto. Then you have to sell that crypto for cash, for US dollars, then deposit that US dollars from the exchange back to the bank. Imagine if you could just do all that in one place without the multiple steps, multiple places to go through. That's Keeta, KTA. They're setting up to do that. The first ones to do that, which I think is brilliant. I don't know all the legalities behind it. I've actually looked into this kind of stuff before because I've actually been curious about what the prospects of something like this would be. The fact that they're figuring out and doing it, I think this could really be huge. But I'm not here to talk about fundamentals. I'm here to talk about the technicals. Okay, looking at the 1 hour, the RSI is oversold. Last time we were here, we bounced. Stochastics are oversold. MACD is right at the 0. I think that we're ready to bounce here pretty soon, guys. I really do. Wouldn't be surprised in the least if we did. If we go lower, though, again, don't be concerned. Okay, we can go lower. We could go down to 33 cents. We could go down to 30 cents. Low to high here. 33 to 32 cents, that is the golden ratio retracement zone. We'd be finding support right here at prior support and at prior resistance, I guess down here, somewhere in that zone between 30 to 33 cents. So if we do go lower, it's fine. I think we could find support at any moment now, and I really do just think that what we're in the midst of is a giant W pattern, right? If we're looking at this on the overall chart here, zooming out a little bit on the 4 hour time frame, hold on real quick, you guys. Looking at the 4 hour time frame here on the RSI, we are productive overall. We've even got this W shape on the RSI, don't we? It's kind of nice to see. Finding support at the 40. We're just range bound right now, right? We're range bound. Sometimes you do this where you'll kind of ping pong between the 40 and the 60. When I say sometimes you do this, I don't mean KTA. I just mean charts. Doesn't matter if it's the 4 hour time frame, the weekly time frame, whatever. You just ping pong between these levels. The fact that you're actually getting above the 60 and staying above the 40 tells me that you're more, even though you're neutral, you're more bullishly inclined. So I do think that this will resolve itself to the upside. Again, it's just the weekend, so we're probably waiting for next week to come out and give us some resolution to the upside. The 4 hour MACD working exactly as expected, okay, where we cross above the zero, and as soon as we cross above the zero on the 4-hour MACD, that's when we start to consolidate. Typically, you consolidate for anywhere from like a day to 3 days. Typically, it's like a day and a half that you consolidate. Being that it's the weekend now, what a perfect time to consolidate. Consolidate over the weekend, and then we'll move up higher. The MACD crossing above the zero is no small feat. That's definitely a good thing and should provide more growth. The stochastics right at the 50, the area that they bounced from before. We bounced from we've bounced back here before as well. Good area for growth, and the RSI is at a place to grow as well. You've got higher lows and higher highs overall. And again, this kind of W shape in the RSI. We look at the daily time frame. The daily RSI is sad. The stochastics make me think that we have higher to go, and so does the MACD. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Looking at the weekly time frame, my assumption here, just to be brief, to try to wrap this up so we can move on to the next ones, would be that from a high to a low here, we probably do see some rapid expansion, either by the end of next week or the following week. So whether it's let's see, what's next week is the 10th, whether it's between the 10th and the 17th or the 17th and the 24th. I guess between the 10th and the 24th, we should see KTA up at anywhere from 84 cents to $1.40. That's a pretty big range, but that's the range that we're going with. I really wouldn't be surprised here if we did break through our golden ratio. Typically, you expect to find resistance on the first attempt at the golden ratio. You do. You expect to find resistance and then come up. But with this overall W shape, with W's, you expect to go right to where the W began and even just above there. That's in our 786, 886 zone. So I really do expect that between now and, let's say, the next 2 weeks, we should see something on the lines of a 220 to a 290% growth from the current price of 35.4 cents. And again, if we go lower, if we drop down to 30 cents, 33 cents, somewhere in that range, that's fine. We can do that and then recover. It's not a big deal. Okay. We don't want to give up 30 cents, though. We don't want to go below there. Okay. That's KTA. Let's talk about Edge now. Edge on Coinbase. Now, Edge, we did have some serious hopes for. You had some bullish divergence here on the MACD. It was looking really good, and you had this move up. It was perfect. We literally called this move for the days, the weeks ahead, or the week before this move happened, the days before it happened. 87% pump. We had it, but came back down. Unfortunately, you actually gave up this area for support. Now you're back down here. That doesn't mean that you're not going to move higher. This could have just been like a test pump, and then we get the real thing here soon. But let's look at the short-term stuff and see if we are, in fact, going lower or not. You definitely have a rounded bottom. This implies that there is some accumulation. And even if we do see a lower low, I think you still maintain this rounded bottom look. And same kind of idea. You've got this like W shape to you now, where whenever you get above this level, as fast as you moved up here, when you get above this level here, you should see some rapid expansion that takes you to your next level, which probably will be your all-time high level. Anyways, looking at the 1 hour time frame, zooming in, the RSI is overall bullish. It's very, very bullish. You do have lower lows in the RSI with similar lows here in the price. It's kind of like hidden bullish divergence. Stochastics are reset. The MACD is bullish overall. I don't have any qualms with this. You're just trying to figure yourself out right now. I mean, let's just see where you are from a low to a high. Right at your 382, perfect area to find support, really. You're at 50, perfect area to find support. The stochastics are bullish overall. And the MACD is getting set up to cross above the zero. Again, when the 4 hour time frame crosses above the zero, we typically get some consolidation. So maybe over the coming days, we cross above the zero on the 4 hour MACD, and then we break out of this range here. Perhaps what we do is after we cross above the zero, we start to consolidate for like a day and a half, back test this for resistance, and then continue to run. So my thoughts would be that Edge from here probably does bounce. You probably do move up to about 29 cents, if not 29 cents, then somewhere between there and let's say 27 cents. You're at 25 cents now. You'll probably move up soon, maybe tomorrow or Monday, and then either Monday or Tuesday, whenever it is that you're up at this level, you'll consolidate, pull back to this level, and then you'll continue to run. Then your real run will really start once we close above about 30 cents. When you close above about 30 cents on a 4 hour time frame or higher time frame, you should be seeing this thing reverting back to the upside, in which case we might expect, and I do expect, that we'll see this thing grow to new all-time highs. From a high to a low, the intended targets here, maybe by the end of the month of November, would be anything from 53 cents to about 91 cents. It's completely possible that Edge goes all the way up to $1.35 or more by the end of the month, but I would think, probably $1.35 to 221. That might be reserved for December. And we absolutely could see more growth in that. Edge is a very low market cap. It's got immense potential. I mean, by the end of the year, this thing could really pull like a 20x or 30x. We don't know. You know, crazy things can happen. We've seen crazy things happen with Zcash, and that's a multi-billion-dollar market cap, let alone something like this that has less than $100 million in market cap valuation. Anyways, that's Edge. Very bullish on Edge. A lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Aspirations, high hopes and aspirations for this thing. I think that by the end of the cycle, it could see some stupendous growth. We could genuinely be at like a $25 price or more by the end of the cycle, but time will tell. Anyways, that's Edge. Let's talk about PEAQ now and wrap this up. PEAQ, PEAQ, USD. I think this is the one, right? Looks like the one. PEAQ for Brian D. Now, I don't know anything about this project, so not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Along with the other two that we've talked about, do your own research, okay? I have done technical analysis on plenty of projects that I had no idea about the fundamentals at all, and we still come up with accurate predictions. Okay, it doesn't. You don't need to understand fundamentals to understand technicals. It's all the same, right? Charts, psychology, it all moves the same. It doesn't matter if this project deals with puppies or this one deals with cats. The charts all move the same. Human psychology moves the same. It doesn't matter, right? Finding support here at the low ends, kind of grinding this out. Do you find support here is the question, right? It's like you're trying to go lower, but you just won't do it. I don't know anything about this project, but being that you came out, last year in December, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you've sold off here. It's been pretty rough for altcoins since December. So popped off, came out at a very loud valuation probably. Let's see, what valuation was that in the first few weeks? It's about an 8x from here. PEAQ is worth that. You were worth about $1 billion market cap in your first couple of weeks, so no wonder you sold off a good bit. 100 million here. I would think it's possible, more than possible, to see new all-time highs, even by the end of the month, or by the end of the year. Let alone going into the end of the cycle here in like April, May time. I want to look at the market cap, compare it to the price. So the market cap has higher lows here. You even had higher highs here. Do you see? And the price here has lower highs and actually has very comparable lows. So your price is getting beat up at the cost of the investors, right? Because the market cap is actually okay. The market cap here is actually at the levels that it was back in June of this year, whereas the price is at the same level now that was at its lowest point, right? Compared to June, right here, we're actually lower, right? So the market cap's doing all right. The people who are getting token unlocks, who are participating in the ecosystem, they're the ones benefiting, not the investors at the moment. I'm sure whenever the market starts to grow, everything will be fine. But $103 million market cap is pretty low. You've got serious potential here. You could see a 100x with this thing. It's possible. Maybe you only get a 20x by the end of the cycle. You never know. But I would expect at least a 25x by the end of the cycle. If we look at the short-term stuff, we'll come back out to the long-term stuff. I just want to see what you're doing here on the short-term, okay? Looking at the 1 hour time frame, I like the RSI. I like it a lot. It actually promotes growth, in my opinion. 4 hour time frame, stochastics look good. The MACD is just now crossing above the zero, and typically when you do that, you start to consolidate. Hey, look at that. So you're probably going to pull back. I mean, maybe you've already consolidated. Maybe that's your low, but if you do pull back a little bit lower, 6.8 cents. You're at 7.2 cents now, so go to 6.8 cents. It's really not that big of a deal. Come down, find support at prior resistance, give a higher low at the same time, and then move up. Find support at your 50, find support at your 50, and then move up. You look good overall. All of these indicators are telling me that you do want to move up higher. So if you move lower from here, it won't be by much. And you do have bullish divergence on the MACD. A little bit of a double bottom here on the RSI. It's nice to see. I very much do think that we'll recover, and going higher from here, if you do see a lower low, that's okay. Hopefully it's a fake out low. But going from here, I would think, high to low, the next target area to consider would be the 382, and that's all the way up at about 15.5 cents. 15.5 cents. You've already interacted with the 382 once, so you could push higher. Perhaps you do. Go up to your 0.5 and maybe hit 21 cents, but something between 15.5 to 21 cent would be where I think you're going to go. Inevitably, when we do see new all-time highs, and I do think you will see new all-time highs, a $1.52 could be your cycle ending target at a minimum. $3.70 is another area to consider. Okay, these little lines here, golden ratio 1.272. Anything in between is fair game as well. I truly wouldn't be surprised though if we did see this thing go all the way up to a $7 to $10 valuation. $7.50 to $10 valuation, I should say. That's anything from like a 100x to a 130 something x. And you really could. I'm not saying that you will. I'm just saying that it's possible, depending on what kind of traction you get. Maybe this is the of your maximum of your capabilities here, right? I don't think that you're going to stop here, and I don't think that you're going to stop here. Most likely you stop somewhere in between, but minimum possibility is $1.52. Maximum possibility is about 21 bucks. And that would be about a 300x. So something in that range by the end of the cycle. If I had to guess, if you're asking me, I feel most confident about something between $3.70 and $10. Probably not above $10. That's my thoughts. But anyways, I got nothing else. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Certainly looks like there's some accumulation going on here. Definitely curious about this one. Might have to look at it because easy money. If you're or no, Brian D was the one that requested this. Whatever. If you guys are requesting it, it might be worth looking into. That's how you find gems, man. I don't know how other YouTubers do it, but I really like to. I will literally, when I'm bored, I will just go through and research projects that you guys are shilling me. 99% of the time, it's not worth it at all. But sometimes we sift through the dirt to find the gems, man. This could be a gem. I don't know anything about it, though, so do your own research. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.